We gotta get over. Gotta get over. We gotta get over. People, we gotta get over. Or pray to Jehovah to rap like Hova, or shoot like a soldier, or shoot like Kobe and Shaq, or you be shooting like a criminal. Black man on the run again, from the sun again. Last night you got yourself a gun again, to shoot someone again, and move like Jet Li, like you the one, and you're gonna murder one of them. Yeah, homie, don't step on my Air Force, son, you don't know me. They cost your life. Like Wyclef and Prize, we can dance with a knife in the survival of the pit shit. Stay alive. It. When it's like Iraq, you got a US soldier it. Gotta get hold of it. Rock it like a Mac Daddy, flow with it. Now that you've been told of it, can we get high enough to get over it? Let's sell your soul for gold of it. When they take notes, will angels still love it? Gotta be sure of it. Give more and more, we need more of it. Before they find a cure of it. Love is a house, open the door of it. No more manure in the core of it. Blood, sweat, and tears all pour for it. That's why we try to stay pure for it. No more war like we swore for it. There's always gotta be a hater, a beast that's trying to put a cease and be a world peace traitor. Yeah, I'm sure of it. We'll see more guts and more gore of it. So evil us, they got a store of it. And we just got over that, but just get over this. You know it's like a cycle, you got to ride the rhythm of the waves of life, dude. Right when y'all run to the mountains, we move the mountains. It's all things possible fountain. Counting the ways, but who's counting? Counting on the winner when it's faith versus doubting. It's magic, the way things happen. Rapping my way from swabbing the deck to captain. Salute in HIM. It's too high for y'all to get over him. Why die, why wisdom? Standing on the corner, trying to drop that knowledge on ya. Yeah. You lack understanding, guess you need that. Jesus is black understanding. Understanding, you're kicking sand in my third eye, demanding I see through your bird's eye. Where I'm standing, the words I slang from a cannon, and all my thoughts go banging. Yeah, or am I over your head? This much closer, get you closer to dead. People, the powers that be invested in us, start investing in those powers. We gotta get over before we go.
Hey, what it do? Yeah, so I'm in the mood to talk about this Donald Trump stuff. Donald Trump has signed a gang of executive orders recently, and I just wanted to go over a couple of them and see what's happening with them. Can y'all hear me out there? Holler at me if y'all can hear me out there. Hit a 1 in the chat if you can hear me out there. But yeah, man. So for today, I just want to talk about them executive orders Trump signed. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. We live today. You know what I mean? So if y'all want to add something to the conversation, hit that link. If y'all want to tell me about myself, hit that link. But we here. So again, today we're talking about all the executive orders Trump has signed after 1 week in office. And I'm going through NPR's article here on Trump's orders. So, again, the link is in the chat. All right, so it says President Trump promised to do a lot right from the start if elected, and he certainly did that. So I guess NPR is friendly to Trump. I'm gonna guess NPR is friendly to Trump, given the way they started this article. I think it's safe to say I can say that. During his first week in office, Trump signed dozens of executive orders affecting everything from immigration, climate change, and oil exploration to health and medical research, as well as eliminating federal diversity programs, directives defining gender, and much, much more. Some of the executive actions will have immediate impacts, and others, like his attempt at getting rid of birthright citizenship for people born in the U.S. to parents without permanent legal status, will be challenged in the courts. Trump's actions include memorandums, proclamations, and executive orders. All can be consequential, but some have more weight than others. Orders are publicly tracked in the Federal Register and cannot be easily overturned by Congress, though they can be blocked or challenged. Here are the executive orders Trump put forward between January 20th and 27th. The full list of actions, including memos and proclamations, appears on the White House website. So yeah, man, let me see. Yeah, so let's jump right into it. So the first one, and again, the goal is to read each one and try to decide if we feel like, this is some racist stuff, or this is some Nazi saluting stuff right here. This explains Elon Musk's Nazi salute. So that's what we're looking for. Any of these orders that strike us as racist or Nazi-ish, and that ring a bell, we're gonna say, hold on. So that's the goal. And if anything, passes by me, holler at me. Either say something in the chat. It's something you find racist or Nazi-ish, or hit that link. Like we said, we live right now. So, but I'm going to be reading this stuff, but that doesn't mean we not live. You heard? All right. So the first one, unleashing American energy. It says this order encourages energy exploration and production on federal lands and waters, including offshore promoting critical minerals as well as fossil fuels. I don't see anything wrong with that so far. So they're encouraging energy exploration and production on federal lands and waters, including offshore, promoting critical minerals as well as fossil fuels. It lays out a policy to promote true consumer choice excuse me, by removing regulations that favor electric vehicles as well as safeguarding the freedom to choose among household appliances, where President Trump has long criticized efficiency requirements. Yeah, it immediately. I mean, this freedom to choose stuff. If their motive is giving people the freedom of choice, I don't see where what the problem is with this one. I do agree that people should have the choice of whether to buy um, uh, uh, electric electric car or what I mean, they regular gas guzzler. People should still have the choice of doing that, and it sounds like that's what he's preserving in this one. So I'm not mad at this. Um, so it says it lays out a policy to promote true consumer choice by removing regulations that favor electric vehicles as well as safeguarding the freedom to choose. So it's removing regulations that favor electric vehicles. Um, as well as safeguarding the freedom to choose among household appliances, even household appliances like stoves and refrigerators and all of that. Like there are people that want to get rid of, well, I guess stoves. Like they want to get rid of gas stoves and anything gas related as an appliance. They want to get rid of those and just have them all electric. Um, and I guess Trump is saying no to that, if I think the idea of trying to getting rid of them all and going straight to electric, I think that's more of a Nazi approach than allowing people both consumers and producers to choose how and what to consume or produce. Um, Says it immediately reverses a number of Biden era environmental orders and calls for a freeze on the disbursement of some congressionally allocated funds while the administration reviews whether they're compatible with the new policy direction. Okay. So, I can't really be mad at this. I'm not really mad at this point. This is some of the stuff he promised he would do. Um, so again, man, we super live today. So, the link is pinned, and the chat is open. If y'all here again, we're looking for racist and Nazi executive orders, and the first one I haven't really heard anything that's racist or Nazi-ish in unleashing American energy. Um, I think the Biden stuff that he reversed a number of those. The environmental orders are really do favor, I think, electric vehicles and push just kind of the climate change, Green New Deal type of policy, which Trump has been against. And I think that this order is, facing that head on. So I'm a no with that one being a Nazi policy. Y'all let me know what y'all feel about it, but I'm a no on that one. The second one, declaring a national energy emergency. This order says that inadequate energy production poses an unusual and extraordinary threat to the U.S. It directs agencies to identify emergency authorities, expansions of the executive branch's powers available in times of crisis that could facilitate energy projects like leasing land for oil and gas production or building pipelines. Notably, solar and wind power are excluded from the definition of energy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this either. Um, I think that's a legitimate concern. You know, inadequate energy. I can see where inadequate energy production or relying on foreign governments for our supply of energy can be, a threat to our security. Um, and I think I'd like to see more into exactly why the energy emergency was declared. Um, I guess it was declared because we are producing inadequate energy, um, and we're not able to facilitate our energy projects that are needed. Um, yeah. So I'm not really mad at that. At least I don't see the racism inherent in that one either. I just am not seeing that one in this one. Um, so yeah, and it says notably solar and wind power are excluded. So again, it looks like the solar and wind is that Green New Deal type of deal, and that stuff is being ignored. Um, so I'm good with those two so far. I have no objections to his first two orders. What about y'all? No? Okay, so let's proceed. The next one is putting America first in international environmental agreements. Putting America first in international environmental agreements. I'm okay with it just by the title. I'm okay with it just from the title. It says in this order, as he did in his first administration, Trump is withdrawing the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord and the Biden administration's International Climate Finance Plan. I mean, he did it in the first term, and we ended up all right. So I'm not mad at that decision either. I'm okay with that. I think that that accord um, puts a lot of demands on America, on our economy, on just everything. I think they put a lot of demands on us that more than on any other countries. And so for that reason, I'm okay with them putting America first when it comes to these things. I think a lot of other countries expect America to make a lot more sacrifices than they themselves are willing to make, or than they are willing to ask of other countries to make. And so, what I mean, he promised to put America first. I think that's one of the manifestations of that. So again, I'm not mad at that. Next order. So the third, that one right there, I'm still yet to see the racism and the Nazism. Again, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for racism and Nazism, and I don't see nothing yet. Next one. Unleashing Alaska's extraordinary resource potential. Sounds good. It says in line with Trump's pledge to drill, baby, drill, this order establishes that it is U.S. policy for the country to fully avail itself of Alaska's vast lands and resources, and specifically to prioritize developing the state's natural gas reserves for potential export as liquefied natural gas. It aims to roll back restrictions on drilling, mining, and road building that were implemented during the Biden administration. Listen, man, I'm anything to bring down my energy costs, man. As a homeowner, my energy costs are very high, and they've been super high since Trump left office. They have been obviously high since he left office. And so, you know, if he's going back to doing what he did in his first term, which kept those prices low, I'm not objecting right now. As a homeowner, um, as someone who uses a lot of energy in his household, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Next one is ending the weaponization of the federal government. This order seeks to hold the previous administration accountable for the alleged weaponization of the federal government. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Biden pardoned everyone. Biden pardoned everyone, so I don't know how they're going to manage to do all that. Um, yeah, I don't know how are they going to manage to do that when Biden done pardoned everybody. Um, says President Trump directs agency heads to review previous criminal enforcement, civil enforcement, and intelligence conduct that appears politically motivated and to provide recommendations for holding actors accountable. Um, I mean, I guess I could see where this one here is one of those ones that they could say, yeah, that sounds kind of, Nazi-ish, you know, directing agency heads to review previous stuff. Well, I'm not saying on face value, in and of itself, on face value, it's not Nazi-ish, but you could see how it could lead to some stuff where people could say that people's rights are being violated, they're not being given, um, you know, due process, um, and things of that nature. So I guess I can see where this one people can say this one can be used, and this one has the potential of being used for Nazi like stuff. But at face value, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think a lot of what it's calling to do is what the Biden administration also did, um, especially with Trump. Um, so again, on face value, I'm not mad at it, but we'll keep an eye out for it. We'll keep an eye out for it. The next one is restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the federal workforce. Restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the federal workforce. I mean, accountability is always good. Um, Accountability is always good to ask for. Um, but let's see what it says and see what that means. It says this reinstates a prior executive order President Trump signed near the end of his first administration, which reclassified career federal employees into a new category of political appointees. This reclassification removes these employees' civil service protections, which insulated them from political pressures so that they may now be fired at will. Okay. Oh, wow, that's interesting. That's the accountability. That's the accountability. So and that's why they were called um, career employees, because I guess you couldn't fire them once they were hired. They were there for life, and so now they can be fired. So I guess for that reason, they'll be a lot more accountable, um, with the decisions they're making and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at that. I don't know. I guess I'd have to look into these each of these positions individually to see exactly what they are, but I don't know which one of these I would say no, that person should have that position for life. I don't know. Um, but yeah, but I'm still okay with that. I'm not mad at that. Someone would have to point out to me where the Nazism is in that order, or where the potential of it is, but I'm just not able to see it, myself at this point. But if you can, like I said, man, the link is in the chat. Hit the link and holla at your boy. Next order. I hope we'll be able to get through these in a good time frame. But the next one is holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive governmental information. I'm not mad at that. President Trump revoked the security clearances of dozens of intelligence officials who signed a 2020 letter discrediting a disparaging report about Hunter Biden. This order also revoked security clearance for John Bolton, Trump's former national security advisor, who published a memoir in 2020 about his time in the White House. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that the election interference part is the fact that they downplayed the disparaging report about Hunter Biden. Like that Hunter Biden stuff was serious, man. That Hunter Biden stuff was so serious that Joe Biden went back on his word and pardoned Hunter, because that was some serious stuff. Like he pardoned him for anything he could possibly have done. That's crazy, and not just Hunter, other family members too. Um, but I think that that's the election interference that they're talking about with these government officials. Just the fact that they discredited those reports about Hunter. Um, the John Bolton stuff. Um, Maybe John Bolton disclosed or allegedly disclosed sensitive government information. Maybe that's John Bolton's the charge of John Bolton in this order. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I know enough about the John Bolton situation. I know that him and Trump ain't friends. Um, but regardless, I don't see the Nazism involved in that one. Next one, reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to government service. Restoring merit. I think I know what this one is about. It says this order is aimed at increasing the overall efficiency of selecting and recruiting government employees. Agencies are directed to enact a process that prioritizes candidates committed to government efficiency and the ideals of our American republic without consideration of race, sex, or religion. I mean, that's definitely not Nazi-ish, right? Right? That's definitely not Nazi-ish. Without consideration of race, sex, or religion is definitely not Nazism. Because Nazism consider race and sex and religion. So if this order says you cannot consider race, sex, or religion, then that can't be considered Nazism. Am I right or am I right? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm right. What y'all think? What y'all think? Am I right or am I right? Next one, reforming the federal hiring. I'm still saying I'm right, man. All right. So they're restoring merit, and I think this is a shot at DEI programs, DEI initiatives, affirmative action initiatives, and again, this is one of those things that he promised to do. So and again, this one does not strike me as racist because it's without consideration of race, and it's not Nazism for the same reason. Next one, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs. I mean, it's a continuation of the last one, I guess. Ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. The director of the Office of Management and Budget and other agencies are directed to terminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the federal government. Agencies must report to the OMB director a list of all employees in DEI and environmental justice positions, as well as related committees, programs, activities, services, and budgets. Wow. And agencies must take action within 60 days. So, again, it's a reiteration of the order before it, where they are trying to do without consideration of race and sex and religion, and I think that's what DEI is about. And so, I'm I'm okay with this. I'm good. I'm good with this one. I don't see the racism involved. for the reasons I gave for the previous order. So, you know, um, I think DEI is eventually going to go the way of affirmative action, where it's going to be found to be unconstitutional. Um, so, again, he is sticking to his promise when he was campaigning of ending DEI programs. Um, and I do support merit-based over DEI any day of the week. So the next one, defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. This order recognizes two sexes, male and female, and mandates that the federal government assert biological distinctions between men and women and refer to individuals by their sex instead of their gender identity. It further prohibits the use of federal funds to promote gender ideology. Um, yeah, I don't see the racism involved here, um, and I don't see the sexism either. Um, I think I think given that um, they're claiming to defend women from gender ideology, their goal is, in their view, is that they are defending women. I also don't find that the intention is sexist either. Um, and so, for those reasons, just given that we're talking about whether this is racist or Nazi orders, I don't see that in these orders. Um, you know, um, Not sure what else to say about about this about this order, other than I just don't see where it is either racist or worthy of the Nazi salute. Um, I don't know. I think. Anyway, let's move on. Establishing and implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, is in effect. This executive order renames and reorganizes the U.S. Digital Service. A decade. Also, it's an old service that's being reorganized. Okay. A decade-old office that recruits private sector talent to work on projects that improve outdated and inefficient government technology and designs. The new U.S. DOGE service, Department of Government Efficiency, appears to serve a similar function within the USDS. There will be a new temporary organization that appears to align with the Trump-backed DOGE mission led by billionaire Elon Musk to cut government spending. Yeah, like wow, I thought Doge was for whatever reason I thought Doge was a new thing. Well, I guess the title Doge is new, but the government agency isn't really new. They've been there. Um, yeah, but let's see where they're going. They are led by billionaire Elon Musk. The only thing not to see about it so far is Elon's salute. Um, So let's see how they plan on cutting government. I don't know if the Nazis were into small government or not. Um, I don't know. They were more of a. I'm just not sure whether they were into small government. So I don't know if Doge and cutting government spending is something that can be labeled as worthy of the Nazi salute. But at this point, it's something that that I support. I think small government over big government any day. So I support getting rid of waste. So I'm not mad at that one either. Um, Next one is restoring names that honor American greatness. It says this order directs the Secretary of the Interior in the next 30 days to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America and Alaska's Denali Mountain Mount McKinley after former President William McKinley. It also orders the appointment of members to the U.S. Board of Geographic Names who will be sympathetic to Trump's policies. Hey, man. Um, that's interesting. That's interesting. Um, you know, I think that stuff matters. So, you know, is it Nazi-ish? No, I think it's America first-ish. I think it's America first-ish. So I'm okay with that. So I'm okay with that. And again, he's sticking to what he said, man. He's trying to make America great again. And I think that renaming and restoring names that honor American greatness is one way of making America great again. What y'all think? What y'all think? I think so. All right, the next one. Restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. I like it from the title already. In this order, President Trump asserts the federal government's commitment to the First Amendment right to freedom of speech and bars federal employees from interfering with that right. The order also directs the Attorney General to investigate and seek remedial actions for the federal government's activities in the last 4 years that were inconsistent with this order's promise. I mean, who's gonna call that order? Who's gonna say that's Nazi-ish or racist? Who's gonna say that? Promoting freedom of speech? I don't see. Yeah, y'all would have to point that out to me. Um, let's see how this order manifests, and the actions that they take in order to put this order into effect. But again, off face value, I don't really see anything wrong with this order. Next one, America's first policy directive to the Secretary of State. Wow, there are a lot of orders, bro. Look at that. Whew. Wait, where was I? Let me find where I was. Said America's first, yep, this one right here. America's first policy directive to the Secretary of State. This order directs the Secretary of State to issue State Department guidance advancing America First foreign policy through the agency's policies, programs, personnel, and operations. The directive cites the need for championing the interests of American citizens above all else. It does not describe specific programs or policies that would meet this program. America first, America first. I'm okay with America first. Championing the interests of American citizens. Hey man, I'm good with that. Isn't that the shouldn't that be what the Secretary of State is doing regardless? I mean, I can't believe they need to be ordered to do that. So I'm okay with that. Next one, reevaluating and realigning United States foreign aid. Interesting. This executive order immediately places a 90-day pause on foreign aid or assistance to U.S. allies while the administration evaluates current aid programs. During this time, agencies will determine whether to resume, modify, or cease foreign assistance programs at the end of the freeze. Wowzers. I mean, audits are always good. And this just sounds like an audit to me. And I don't see anything wrong with auditing our foreign aid programs. All programs should be audited and revised and reevaluated and realigned. And the realigning I think is the piece that people will object to is the realigning piece. But it is the Trump administration, and it is America first. So our foreign aid programs should be aligned to that vision. And you know, yeah, can't just be sending our money to people that don't have our interests. Am I right or am I right? Am I right or am I right? I'm gonna say I'm right, man. I'm gonna go with I'm right. Um, Next one, withdrawing the United States from the WHO, from the World Health Organization. This order begins a process of withdrawing from the World Health Organization, or WHO. It also rescinds a prior executive order signed by former President Joe Biden that coordinated the federal government's COVID-19 response efforts and implemented processes to respond to emerging pandemics. Wow, that's deep right there. Yeah, I think the World Health Organization definitely dropped the ball on the whole COVID-19 stuff. And I think Trump's position may be that, withdrawing from WHO frees us up to do stuff that, that's more in our interests, that's more in our America First interests. And so again, I don't have an objection to that either. Um, I was totally against those lockdowns and mandates, and so withdrawing from who, um I don't give a what. Yeah. Next one, clarifying the military's role in protecting the territorial integrity of the United States. This order directs the Secretary of Defense to protect U.S. sovereignty and territorial integrity by having the United States Northern Command seal the southern U.S. border. Wow, they sending the army to the border. Have y'all seen them videos? Have y'all seen them videos of the army going to the border? Woo, that's some stuff right there, boy. It says, let me start again. It says this order directs the Secretary of Defense to protect U.S. sovereignty and territorial integrity by having the United States Northern Command seal the southern U.S. border to prevent mass migration, narcotics trafficking, human smuggling, and trafficking, among others. U.S. Northcom is slated to provide security at the southern border while the national border emergency is in place. Wow. Wow, so there's a board that they declared an emergency, a national emergency at the border, and brought in the military. Isn't that something? That's something right there. That's deep. I mean, I'm not opposed to closing the border. Um, I'm just not. I think you know every good country can be America first and not have borders. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. All right. Speaking of the border, the next one is realigning the United States refugee admissions program. This order freezes the U.S. refugee admissions program starting January 27th, suspending refugee admissions and applications. During this time, refugees may only be admitted into the U.S. on a case-by-case basis through a joint decision by the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security. The resumption of U.S. RAP, or the Refugee Admissions Program, will be considered every 90 days. Wow. Wow, they're serious. These guys are serious, man. Um, Racist, this is I'm sure the accusations of racism and Nazism is definitely going to be coming out in this one right here. You know, because these are refugees, man. These are refugees. Why, Clef? Why, Clef? And what's her name? you know, yeah. But these are refugees. How can you be so mean to refugees? You got to be racist. But yeah, I do think it makes sense given the other orders that everything kind of be reevaluated and reviewed. And so again, I'm gonna say I don't see this as racist on its face. Let's see what happens. And we're going to take it. It's take it on a case by case basis. So we'll take it on a case by case basis, and determine whether it's racist as we move on. The next one, protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. This order denies citizenship to certain U.S.-born children. Yeah, this is the birthright citizenship thing, whose parents are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. President Trump asserts these children are not subject to U.S. jurisdiction and therefore not covered by the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which guarantees citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States. Yeah, and I think this is what they're banking their money on, the fact that they're not subject to the U.S. To U.S. jurisdiction. I think that's what they're using to say that birthright citizenship is unconstitutional. And the idea of birthright citizenship doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't know the rationale behind it. So I'm okay with this one. I don't see the rationale behind why someone can just have a baby here and that baby is a citizen. It just doesn't make sense to me. The next one, securing our borders. This executive order proposes a joint state and federal effort to seize and prevent future immigration at the southern border. Trump orders agencies to construct a physical border, deploy federal law enforcement personnel to the southern border, and aggressively pursue criminal prosecutions for those who violate the law while in the United States. You got to have a secure border. I mean, I don't see the racism or Nazism in none of these immigration policies that we've looked at so far. On their face, I don't see why I would, say they are Nazi policies. Before I proceed to the next one, I'm going to take a 2-minute break. All right. We're going to rock out. I'm going to take a break, but we're going to get over it and come right back. You heard? Holla.
We gotta get over. Gotta get over. We gotta get over. People, we gotta get over, or pray to Jehovah, to rap like Hova, or shoot like a soldier, or shoot like Kobe and Shaq, or you be shooting like a criminal black man on the run again, from the sun again. Last night you got yourself a gun again, to shoot someone again, and move like Jet Li, like you the one, and you're gonna murder one of them. Yeah, homie, don't step on my Air Force, son, you don't know me, they cost your life. Like Wyclef and Prize, we can dance with a knife in the survival of the fit shit. Stay alive. When it's like Iraq, you got a U.S. soldier in. Gotta get hold of it. Rock it like a Mac Daddy. Flow with it. Now that you've been told of it, can we get high enough to get over it? The sing the soul for gold of it. When they take notes, will angels still love it? Gotta be sure of it. Give more and more, we need more of it. Before they find a cure of it. Love is a house, open the door of it. No more manure in the core of it. Blood, sweat, and tears all pour for it. That's why we try to stay pure for it. No more war like we swore for it. There's always gotta be a hater. A beast just trying to put a cease and be a world peace traitor. Yeah, I'm sure of it. We'll see more guts and more gore of it. So evil us, they got a store of it. And we just got over that, but just get over this. You know it's like a cycle, you got to ride the rhythm of the waves of life, dude. Right when y'all run to the mountains, we move the mountains. It's all things possible fountain. Counting the waves, but who's counting? Counting on the winner when his faith bursts doubting. It's magic, the way things happen. Rapping my way from swabbing the deck to captain. Saluting H.I.M. It's too high for y'all to get over him. Why die while wisdom standing on the corner, trying to drop that knowledge on ya? Yeah. You lack understanding, guess you need that. Jesus is black understanding. Understanding, you're kicking sand in my third eye, demanding I see through your bird's eye. Where I'm standing, the words I slang from a cannon, and all my thoughts go banging. Yeah, or am I over your head? This much closer gets you closer to dead. People, powers that be invested in us. Start investing in those powers. We gotta get over before we wonder.
Okay. All right. All right. So where were we? Yeah. So again, we are going through President Trump's orders, man. We are going through his marching orders, and we are trying to see if they are similar to Hitler orders. And so far, we said nah. So far, we're saying nah. We okay with them. We're good with these orders until we see some stuff happening that's, you know what I mean? But so far, we're okay with them. So far, nothing is outside of what he said he was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So there are no surprises. There's nothing here that's a surprise at this point. But you know, let me continue to the next again. But again, we live. We really live this time. The link is pinned. Look. The link is pinned. So you know what I mean. Come holler at your boy. If you dare. Yeah. So where are we? We are restored. The next one is restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. In response to the Biden administration's moratorium on carrying out the death penalty, this executive order commands the Attorney General to resume pursuing the death penalty whenever possible. The Attorney General is also ordered to pursue federal prosecution and the death penalty for capital crimes committed by anyone without legal status. State prosecutors are not bound by this order. I'm sorry, state prosecutors who are not bound by this order are encouraged to do the same. Yeah, for capital crimes. I wonder what crimes are considered capital. Yeah, those are big crimes. You know, like capital letters, a big letter. Capital crimes got to be like some really big crimes. Um, and they're pursuing them for anyone without legal status. They're pursuing death penalty for capital crimes committed by anyone without legal status. Is that true? If you have legal status, can they still pursue the death penalty for capital crimes for people with legal status, or are they just doing it for people with? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but that's something I'd like to find out. Um, and this is just a federal thing. It says state prosecutors who aren't bound by the order are encouraged, but they're encouraging state prosecutors to do the same thing. Um, and restoring the death penalty. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about the death penalty. I'm kind of torn about the death penalty. Um, you know, so that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. I think just talking about the death penalty and whether or not it's justified, whether or not it makes sense. Um, yeah, so I don't know if I would say that this is it's definitely not a racist or Nazi-ish um, order, because we've he's restoring the death penalty. So the death penalty has been with America. I think Biden is probably the first one to put a moratorium on it. So the death penalty is not an un-American idea. I don't think it's been with us forever. So it's not a Nazi thing, and I don't find it's racist either, unless there are numbers and statistics out there that can prove me wrong. Um, but but the issue I'm having with it is just whether or not I agree with just the idea of the death penalty. Um, but again, that's another discussion. But the order itself, I think it fails the Nazi test. All right, protecting the American people against invasion in this lengthy, and all of these are immigration orders. Let's see, have they all been immigration? No, the immigration ones started earlier. But most of these are immigration orders. Um, protecting the American people against invasion. In this lengthy executive order, Trump calls for immediate removal of those in the United States without legal status. He orders agencies to enforce removal orders, criminalize unauthorized entry to the U.S., extend the Department of Homeland Security's presence in all 50 states, and construct detention facilities detention facilities for those awaiting removal proceedings. The order also calls for civil fines in addition to removal and cuts federal funding from sanctuary jurisdictions. Civil fines in addition to removal, so you can be fined and or removed. And sanctuary cities are going to get their funding cut. Yeah, that one covered a lot. That covered a lot. I think the Nazi thing is going to come in where here people are going to say this one right here is a Nazi thing, constructing detention facilities for people awaiting removal, right? But we've kind of always had detention facilities for people awaiting removal, right, or removal proceedings. So I don't find that to be Nazi-ish either. Um, a detention facility is definitely not a gas chamber, so it's definitely not Nazi-ish. Um, you know, So I'm good with that one as well. Next one is designating cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists. That's deep. This order asks the Secretary of State to issue a recommendation within 14 days on whether to designate certain cartels, not all of them, and other transnational organizations as foreign terrorist organizations. If groups are identified, agencies if groups are identified, agencies should prepare for Trump to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 against these newly designated terrorist groups. I mean, there's a lot of drugs coming through that border. And I think this is his way of trying to fight against the the drugs that's coming again through the border. Is this him reigniting the war against drugs or the war on drugs? It could be. Was the war on drugs a failure? Yes. Is this one going to be a failure as well if it's similar to that? I mean, could be. Um, but when they had the war on drugs, I don't know if any group was designated as a terrorist organization. So I don't know if I would say it's going to be similar. This sounds really intense here. Um, and again, in an attempt to fight all the drugs pouring in through the southern border, um, I don't find that to be a Nazi order. Protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. This order commands agencies to pursue more stringent vetting and screening procedures for people immigrating to the United States, seeking a visa or applying for refugee status. It foreshadows the suspension of all immigration from certain countries and encourages immediate removal of non-US citizens within agency discretion. The order calls for assimilating new immigrants by promoting a unified American identity. Promoting a unified American identity. Is that the one? Is that the one that's Nazi-ish? A unified American identity? I mean, the idea of America being like a melting pot, like, right? That's always kind of been the idea behind us being a melting pot has always been a unified American identity. Um, so, I don't think that's Nazi-ish. And I don't see anything wrong with having an American identity. I absolutely promote the idea of having a unified American identity. I think that's all nations should have a unified identity. Um, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Um, you know, and I think given that this is about protecting the order in full is about protecting the U.S. from foreign terrorists and national security and public safety threats. Um, I think that's really what it's fighting against. So I don't think it's trying to stop people from flying their flags and you know, appreciating their homeland or their home countries. I think this is more about ending terroristic propaganda that certain groups promote online. Um, and I think that is the spirit of this order. So I'm good with that one. Application of Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act to TikTok. Application of Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act to TikTok. Oh, they're going to apply this act to TikTok. This executive order seeks to hit pause for 75 days on a law banning TikTok and to provide a liability shield to business partners of the popular video app. The text of the order said this will give Trump's administration time to pursue a resolution that protects national security while saving a platform used by 170 million Americans. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of Americans. That's a lot of Americans. And I'm sure he's felt the pressure from these Americans, and I'm sure a lot of them came from his base as well. Um, and so, you know, I'm not mad at him for, you know, hitting pause on banning TikTok. Um, I use TikTok as well. Hit me up on TikTok, American Dreamer guy. Word up. So I'm okay with that. I don't see the Nazism or racism involved there either. Um, Again, man, the link is pinned. If y'all want to come in and talk about any of these orders, the link is pinned. Initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions. This order rescinds 78 executive actions signed by former President Joe Biden, including several public health regulations. It also revoked an order promoting voter registration and a census order that could clear a path for reshaping election maps. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't see the racism or the Nazism in this. Maybe I just don't understand how voter registration and election maps work enough to speak on this. Um, but you know, he's spoken enough over the years about elections being stolen, and I think this is one of those orders that he is putting in place to combat what he claims Democrats have put in place. The next one, so I'm not mad at that. Designation of Ansar Allah as a foreign terrorist organization. Following a January 20 executive order, President Trump began designating certain transnational organizations as terrorist groups. In this order, Trump aims to designate Ansar Allah also known as the Houthis, foreign terrorist organization, citing previous attacks on the United States military and U.S. allies. Um, and it's calling for a report within 30 days and additional action 15 days later. I'm not that familiar with Ansar Allah, with that organization. Um, um, but I'm not mad at the order. I can't say yay or nay whether they are or are not. But you know, Trump is president, man. He's the president. I'm gonna take his word at it. I'm not mad at the order. Let's see if there are any challenges to that order. I doubt there'll be any challenges to that order, but if there are, we'll pay attention to it and see how we feel about it. But on face value, again, I don't see the issues. Next one, removing barriers to American leadership in artificial intelligence. Removing barriers to American leadership in AI. This executive order follows President Trump's actions to rescind President Biden's 2023 executive order on AI and looks at ways to further rescind AI policies established under Biden. The the EO or executive order will revoke past government policies that act as barriers to AI innovation. And it says we must develop AI systems that are free from ideological bias or engineered social agendas. Yeah, man, like sometimes I ask AI certain questions and AI be like, I'm not answering that. I'd be like, why? I'd be like, why? What you mean? Like I ask AI to write something. AI be like, no, I'm not writing that. I'll be like, what you mean? What you mean you're not gonna write that? And you know, and I think it's because of it may have something to do with these restrictions that have been placed on them. And because if American AI providers, if ChatGPT isn't doing what people are asking it to do, and then the Chinese AI, because China just dropped a whole new AI service, DeepSeek, and if they're willing to, to do what I want, what ChatGPT is unwilling to do, I'm gonna use DeepSeek, you know, and so and so, you know, I think this is what Trump is talking about. I think his view is that it's very important that America stay on top of this AI stuff, and that AI is very important. AI is the future, and America has to be in the lead. And I'm in agreement with that. Um, and so, if these restrictions that he's talking about are of the form that are affecting me, like I just mentioned, then yes, I am okay with removing those barriers, um, if they're preventing America from leading in the AI front. The next one, declassification of records concerning the assassination of President JFK, Senator RFK, and Reverend MLK. Wow. Ain't that something? It just all rolled off the tongue like, whoa. JFK, RFK, and MLK are going to be declassified. This order states it is in the national interest to release all records related to these assassinations without delay. Previous records relating to former President John F. Kennedy has been released with redactions in 2017. Within 15 days, the Director of National Intelligence and the Attorney General will present a plan for the Kennedy records release. Within 45 days, they are to present a plan to the President on releasing the Robert F. Kennedy and MLK Jr. records. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a big deal, man. That sounds like a big deal. A lot of stuff are going to be really revealed about a lot of folks that a lot of people are not going to like. Um, um, and that's something. That's something. Um, he's releasing JFK, RFK, and MLK, so it's not, you can't say he's being racist, because I think there's a lot of stuff in the JFK files that are way more, damaging to the country than the MLK stuff. I don't know, you know. So I don't see the racism nor the Nazism involved here. But I do think the ramifications are going to be quite interesting. I think the ramifications are going to be quite interesting. The next one, strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. This executive order calls for a regulatory framework to promote American investment in digital assets like cryptocurrencies and financial technologies like blockchain. Priorities include expanding access to blockchain technology. In that, I haven't even heard of blockchain. Y'all got to get in the loop. Increasing the mining and development of digital currencies and software, and promoting US dollar-backed cryptocurrencies under central bank digital currencies. The order also establishes a working group on digital asset markets comprised of agency and department leaders. Yeah, I'm good with that. Anything cryptocurrency, I'm good. I mean, I got a little bit of investment in crypto, um, but I'm okay with it. Anything about strengthening America's leadership, I'm good with. In AI, absolutely. The digital financial technology, absolutely. America should be in the lead, you know? And the reason I think it's important for America to be in the lead in all of these platforms is simply because of of America's values, of just the American values and of freedom and liberty. I think America's values, America takes its values with it when it leads, um, in all of these areas, right? When America leads with its values, and so the American values also take hold across the world when America leads in all of these areas. When I compare America's values to the values of other countries that lead in that want to lead in AI or in the digital financial technology field, when I compare their values, you know, I I hold American values more near and dear to me, and I think objectively, American values um, are more worthy of being upheld. Um, and I think that's why, for me, it's important that America leads in all these areas. Um, the next one, enforcing the Hyde Amendment. This executive order reinforces Congress's Hyde Amendment, which prohibits the use of federal dollars to cover abortion and related health care, with limited exceptions. Most notably, the order rescinds two of former President Joe Biden's 2022 executive orders, which sought avenues to expand access to reproductive and emergency health care after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade's right to abortion. Okay, wait, I got to read this one again. This one is important. Enforcing the Hyde Amendment. I wish I knew more about the Hyde Amendment, but it sounds like this one is about abortion. This executive order reinforces Congress's Hyde Amendment, which prohibits the use of federal dollars to cover abortion and related health care with limited exceptions. And I guess those exceptions are, in cases of rape and when the mother is, the life of the mom is at risk. I guess most notably, the order rescinds two of former President Joe Biden's 2022 executive orders, which sought avenues to expand access to reproductive and emergency health care after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade's right to abortion. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as pro life people expected him to do that. So, and I don't know if I would call the pro life position a racist or Naziist position. Um, So, I'm not mad at this one either. Um, so far, somebody has to come up and tell me where the racism in his orders and the Nazism in his orders are. Because, Elon can do as many Nazi salutes as he wants. You know, I'm more interested in these orders that Trump is signing and these policies that they're put in place, and whether or not those orders and policies are worthy of a Nazi salute. And so far, they're just not, in my view. And someone will have to come up and tell me what I'm missing. Next one, emergency measures to provide water resources in California and improve disaster response in certain areas. This order directs secretaries of various agencies to report back within 15 days about taking measures necessary to ensure adequate water resources in Southern California. It orders the Interior Department's Central Valley Project to deliver, hang on. Sorry, it orders the Interior Department's Central Valley Project to deliver more water and produce additional hydropower to high-need communities in spite of any contradictory state or local laws. Can't imagine that anyone objects to this order or finds anything wrong with this order. So I'm okay with that. I'm just going to scroll to the next one. Council to assess the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, establishes the Federal Emergency Management Agency Review Council to review how FEMA is doing its job. The order says there are serious concerns of political bias at the agency. The Secretaries of Homeland Security and Defense are designated co-chairs of the council. Calls for report and assessment of adequacy at the agency's disaster responses during the Biden years and to recommend improvements. It is to hold its first public meeting within 90 days with a report due in 180 days. You know, in Jamaica, they make that accusation in Jamaica a lot. They say the whoever's in power, whether it's the Labourite Party or the PNP party, like they say they only help out the communities that voted for them, you know, and they only build roads in those communities, and they leave everybody else out. And I think that's the accusation that's being floated here with FEMA. And so for that reason, I think a review and a reassessment of FEMA is definitely worthwhile. The Iron Dome for America. This order seeks to deploy a next generation missile defense shield to defend the U.S. against aerial attacks. The Defense Secretary must submit a plan for the shield within 60 days. And it calls for a report within 60 days. Look, man, the fact that they are actually even talking about an Iron Dome for America is scary. Like, that to me is like, really? An Iron Dome for America? Like, so are they saying people are going to be shooting rockets from Cuba or Mexico? Who we need an Iron Dome to protect us against? I mean, surely Hamas and North Korea is going to be shooting stuff all the way. Oh, North Korea could have missiles they're going to be launching. North Korea could have the capability. Are you telling me that they fear that North Korea has the capability of shooting missiles over here now? Yo, that's scary crazy. It's a good thing North Korea don't be launching missiles like Hamas be launching missiles. That's a good thing. But just the idea that we got to now start considering an Iron Dome just is scary. And how much is that going to cost? How much is that going to cost? And where's the money going to come from to pay for this? Tariffs? It got to be tariffs. All right, next one. Restoring America's fighting force. It says this order states that the U.S. Armed Forces should operate free from any preference based on race or sex. It abolishes DEI offices and programs in the Defense Department and the Department of Homeland Security. It prohibits promotion of divisive concepts, including that America's founding documents are racist or sexist. Yep, I'm good with this one. Yeah, I'm definitely good with this one. I'm okay. Yeah. I just don't understand why we even had to have gotten here. But I'm in support of this order. I think our Defense Department has more important things to worry about. I think more of the woke stuff in that department should be scrapped. But anyway, next one, prioritizing military excellence and readiness. This order contends that service members with gender dysphoria and those with shifting pronoun usage or use of pronouns that inaccurately reflect an individual's sex are unfit to serve in the military. Wow. I wonder how many people that's going to affect. That may affect thousands of people. That's going to affect thousands of people. And I wonder how many of those people have had, like, issues around what they're calling their dysphoria, around their gender dysphoria. Um, is it that these members, these service members, are asking to have treatment done at the expense of taxpayers? Um, I mean, and if that's what it is, does that make them unfit to serve? Like, that can't be it, because this says that they are unfit to serve. Or is the idea that they are asking for this treatment, does that make them unfit to serve? The fact that they feel like they are in the wrong body. The idea is that this makes them unfit to serve because they suffer from gender dysphoria. I mean, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm sure I can imagine that's going to be one of the ones that's going to be challenged. Um, but I'm going to say I don't see the racism or the Nazism and just scroll past it for now. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. But let's see how it develops. Let's see how it develops. Next one: reinstating service members discharged under the military's COVID-19 vaccination mandate. Heck yeah, of course. Everything COVID-19, man. They should go back through these YouTube channels that was promoting COVID-19 and shut them down. All them YouTube channels that was promoting COVID-19 vaccines and mandates, they should be shut down for 90 days and reviewed. I'm serious as I'm serious. I'm serious. But yeah, but reinstating service members discharged under the militaries, and I think all of them teachers that were let go. This should apply not just to military folks. I think because I know teachers were let go, police officers were let go, nurses were let go, and I think they should be reinstated and given their back pay as well. It says this order permits the reinstatement of service members who were discharged for refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccine during the pandemic. Those service members would return to their former rank and receive full back pay benefits, bonus payments, or compensation. Yes, I'm good with that. I'm not mad about that at all. I'm okay with that. Yeah, it looks like we come to the end of the list. Look at that. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. And we did it in what, an hour and a half? That wasn't bad at all. That was not bad at all. So my verdict is that no, this is not Nazi stuff, and this is not racist. I don't see it in any of his orders at all. And again, the link is pinned. Y'all are gonna have to come and show me what I missed and where I missed it. Let me see what I want to do right now. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let me stop sharing my screen and then let me present this one. This is another issue that people have brought up and have said this points to Trump's racism, if not Nazism. So I do want to talk about this article here as well. It's from CBS News. And it says, Trump doesn't only want to end DEI, he's also voiding a civil rights era anti-discrimination rule. And, a few people have mentioned that to me and I've asked my opinion on that. And, you know, um, it's interesting what rule they're talking about. So I guess we can just read through this article together and see exactly what they're talking about and what he did. Because I don't think did this one speak about it? Hold on, let's see here. It says among the flurry of executive orders since his January 20th inauguration, President Trump has taken aim at rooting out diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs within the federal government. Right, we read about some of those DEI stuff. It says, but his efforts go beyond DEI, with one recent order rescinding a civil rights era rule that has helped protect millions of workers from discrimination. It says Mr. Trump's January 21st order ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity revokes the Equal Employment Opportunity Rule signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, which is still law today, had a loophole that excluded federal employees. Wait, did we look at let me go back to this one. Did we see that order? I don't remember. I remember talking about this one. Yeah, but I don't see that one here. This is merit to government service. This is a different order that wasn't even listed in the ones that we read that were listed. So again, it says Mr. Trump's order ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity revokes the Equal Employment Opportunity Rule signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, which is still law today, had a loophole that excluded federal employees. Johnson signed the Equal Employment Opportunity Rule to close the loophole, and those protections were signed into law in 1972. That rule bars federal contractors who today employ 3.7 million people from discriminating against job applicants or workers on the basis of race, gender, religion, and other protected characteristics. It also gave the Labor Department the authority to take action against discrimination. Mr. Trump's order does not invalidate the law. So what's the problem? Hold on. Mr. Trump's order does not invalidate the law, and private and federal employees are still protected from discrimination as laid out under the Civil Rights Act. Okay, so what's the problem? But his order does strike down the 1965 rule prohibiting contractors that do business with the government from taking race, gender, and other protected criteria into account. Okay, this is interesting. All right, I think I know what this is about, but let me read a little more. Hold on. Let me read it again. It says, the rule bars contractors from discriminating against job applicants or workers on the basis of race, gender, religion, and other protected characteristics. It also gave the Labor Department the authority to take action against discrimination. Right. Mr. Trump's order does not invalidate the law, but his order does strike down the 1965 rule prohibiting contractors that do business with the government from taking race, gender, and other protected criteria into account. So it's saying these contractors cannot take race, gender, and other protected criteria into account. So this is DEI. So it's saying they cannot use DEI. Okay, so the Civil Rights Act had DEI in it. The Civil Rights Act had DEI. Wait. More broadly, revoking the 60-year-old Equal Employment Opportunity Order, or Equal Employment Opportunity Order, eliminates a bedrock of civil rights protection for American workers, signaling an effort to target workplace issues that go beyond DEI, labor experts say. While DEI is shorthand for programs that encourage equality in the workplace for women, minorities, and other groups, the Equal Opportunity Rule prohibited federal contractors from engaging in acts of discrimination, such as refusing to hire someone due to their race or paying an employee less because of their gender. It is still stunning to me that he took such an extraordinary step, said Fatima Goss-Graves, CEO of the National Women's Law Center, a non-profit advocacy group focused on gender justice. Revoking the rule signals he is going after something bigger, the basic and foundational idea that we should be able to work at workplaces without discrimination. She added, "We agreed to that 60 years ago, and I'll add that people in this country support it too." What is the equal opportunity? What is the, okay, exactly, what is the equal employment opportunity rule? So this is where we are, because this is what the issue is. It says the rule required federal contractors to take affirmative action to ensure that workers aren't discriminated against based on race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin. This covered everything from hiring to promotions and pay, with the Department of Labor tasked with overseeing and enforcing the rule. Okay, so this is affirmative action. So this is the part of the Civil Rights Act that Trump is striking down, or that his order is striking down, I guess. The affirmative action part, saying that contractors have to take affirmative action to hire based on race, right? Okay. And since affirmative action has been found to be unconstitutional, I guess that's why he feels comfortable doing this and feeling like he'll win challenges to this, is because he's not striking down, because it says here clearly that Mr. Trump's order does not invalidate the law, and federal employees, private and federal employees, are still protected from discrimination, right? The only thing that's being struck down here is he's revoking the Equal Opportunity Order, or the Equal Opportunity rule, which is an affirmative action rule. So these contractors, it's requiring contractors to take affirmative action, which means doing stuff to prevent, doing stuff beforehand, like making sure that you setting quotas and things like that. And those are the things that have been found to be unconstitutional, if you will. No, not yet.
Are you gonna eat dinner or you're not gonna eat? Coming after tonight.
All right. So again, this is about. So I'm not mad at this. This does not take away people's civil rights. This is I think this is going to win whatever challenges it's taking, because it's attacking a certain part of that Civil Rights Act. How does provoking the rule impact protections for workers? It's still illegal under U.S. law for employers to discriminate on the basis of race, gender, or other traits, labor excerpt said, but rescinding the Equal Opportunity Rule could have a chilling effect on cases where workers at federal contractors allege they've been treated unfairly and could impact the Department of Labor's ability to pursue workplace discrimination cases. Could do this, could do that. Taking away puts, I mean, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just don't know how mad I am, or if I'm mad at this at all. Um, okay, let's go to this section here. It says, why is President Trump banning DEI and revoking the EEO rule? Mr. Trump's aim is to restore what the administration considers to be a merit-based hiring system, according to officials and his executive orders. It is the policy of the United States to protect the civil rights of all Americans and to promote individual initiative, excellence, and hard work, the president wrote in the order to revoke the 1965 rule. DEI policies, he wrote, have led to illegal, pernicious discrimination that has prioritized how people were born instead of what they were capable of doing. Numerous lawsuits have taken aim at DEI programs, with some alleging that the policies discriminate against people who aren't minorities or that they violate some workers' rights to free speech, among other allegations. Yeah, I mean, that's why they lost in court. The Trump administration isn't getting rid of the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion as they are typically understood. A viewpoint from Eric Smith, research fellow at blah, 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 blah. He's getting rid of the critical social justice version, which is inherently divisive. The Trump administration isn't getting rid of the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion. He's getting rid of the critical social justice version, which is inherently divisive. I think it's fair, it's more fair to say the Trump administration isn't getting rid of the Civil Rights Act. He's getting rid of the critical social justice version of the Civil Rights Act, which is DEI. No, but I think he is trying to get rid of DEI. What will happen with DEI programs? The DEI programs are being scrubbed from the federal government according to Trump's administration's directives. All federal employees in DEI roles were placed on leave by 5 p.m. Eastern. Whoa, all of them were placed on leave at 5 p.m. today. Agencies were also told to take down all outward-facing media, websites, social media accounts, etc. of DEIA, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility offices, cancel upcoming DEI trainings, and terminate contracts with DEI-related contractors by the same time Wednesday. Wow. And then what's going to happen in 4 years? Is the next, when if the Democrats come into office in the next 4 years, they're just going to go back to all of this stuff and just reshuffle everything again? Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, meanwhile, Mr. Trump's January 21st executive order requires federal agencies to come up with up to 9 potential civil compliance investigations of publicly traded companies, large profits, and private institutions with DEI programs that constitute illegal discrimination preferences. Yeah. So, is this stuff here, this talk of him, cutting the Civil Rights Act, and just for that reason it's racist? I don't think so. I think he's doing what he thinks is the constitutionally correct thing to do, and eliminating a portion of the Civil Rights Act, which was talking about affirmative action, which is which has been found unconstitutional, and and so for that reason, I'm not mad at his position. I think given his opposition to affirmative action, I don't see why he wouldn't make this ruling. So no, he is not going after civil rights. He's going after affirmative action, and the two are not necessarily the same thing. You heard? Um, yeah, so that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. Um, if anybody wants to come in and talk about any of this, if anybody wants to hit the link, man, I'm here. We're going on a couple of hours. I think, I'm good to go unless somebody wants to come up and speak to something that they heard or something that they saw. I'm here. But we ran it through the test. We ran the executive orders through the test. And we found them to be lacking of racism and Nazism. And that's what we said matters are his orders and the policies that they're putting in place. I find right now that he's doing what he said he was going to do. And while he was saying that, nobody said these things were Nazi. Look, they're Nazi. And so I don't see them as anything like that. And again, given that Musk is really only doing the Doge stuff, and so the government efficiency stuff. And again, I thought this was a new department. This department has been there for like a decade now, and so I'm not mad at them having a Department of Government Efficiency that's looking to cut waste. I'm okay with that. I don't think that in and of itself. I don't think that has anything to do with Nazism. So until Elon Musk does something Nazi-ish, I'm still taking his Nazi salute as just his autistic, awkward behavior. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna rock out to this to Sunchild one more again and see if anyone is gonna be willing to come to hit the link and speak to anything. I'm here, you know what I mean? But once again, bless up to Sunchild with the big tune. I think you find it on iTunes, man. If you go to iTunes and search up Sunchild, Gotta Get Over, there's this joint right here. You heard? You're gonna find it. I'm telling you, it's there. Search for Sunchild. The last joint was on Recognized Royalty. But look it up. It's on iTunes. It's everywhere. Sunchild, Gotta Get Over. It's a banger. Check it out. I'm going to let it rock. See if anybody comes in. If not, we out of here. But let's go.
We gotta get over. Gotta get over. We gotta get over. People, we gotta get over, or pray to Jehovah, to rap like Hova, or shoot like a soldier, or shoot like Kobe and Shaq, or you be shooting like a criminal black man on the run again, from the sun again. Last night you got yourself a gun again, to shoot someone again, and move like Jet Li, like you the one, and you're gonna murder one of them. Yeah, homie, don't step on my Air Force, son, you don't know me, they cost your life. Like Wyclef and Prize, we can dance with a knife in the survival of the fit shit. Stay alive. When it's like Iraq, you got a U.S. soldier in. Gotta get hold of it. Rock it like a Mac Daddy. Flow with it. Now that you've been told of it, can we get high enough to get over it? Let's say the soul for gold a bit. When they take notes, will angels still love it? Gotta be sure of it. Give more and more, we need more of it. Before they find a cure of it. Love is a house, open the door of it. No more manure in the core of it. Blood sweat and tears all pour for it. That's why we try to stay pure for it. No more war like we swore for it. There's always gotta be a hater, a beast just trying to put a cease and be a world peace traitor. Yeah, I'm sure of it. We'll see more guts and more gore of it. So evil us, they got a store of it. And we just got over that, but just get over this. You know, it's like a cycle. You got to ride the rhythm of the waves of life, dude. Right when y'all run to the mountains, we move the mountains. It's all things possible fountain. Counting the ways, but who's counting? Counting on the winner when it's faith versus doubting. It's magic, the way things happen. Rapping my way from swabbing the deck to captain. Saluting H.I.M. It's too high for y'all to get over him. Why die? Why wisdom? Standing on the corner, trying to drop that knowledge on ya. Yeah. You lack understanding, guess you need that. Jesus is black understanding. Understanding, you're kicking sand in my third eye, demanding I see through your bird's eye. Where I'm standing, the words I slang from a cannon, and all my thoughts go banging. Yeah, or am I over your head? This much closer, get you closer to dead. People, powers that be invested in us, start investing in those powers. We gotta get over before we wonder.
Yeah, y'all. So here we are. You done know. Did y'all hit like? Did y'all hit like? Did y'all subscribe to the channel? All right. Y'all see the channel. The channel in full effect, man. We building the channel. The channel is being built. You know, and it's being built for y'all. You know that, right? I'm building it for me. I'm building this for y'all. It's for the people. But yeah, man, I got a few videos scheduled. The ones that are public. You see the ones that are public. I'm trying to organize them into some playlists. So the playlists are here. You know, and you can watch at your liking, you know. But this is what we're looking like now. And again, the goal is to build a channel. We're building with them. I got some videos yet to release. Some of them are scheduled. I got a bunch of shorts to release as well. And so, you know, we just building the channel, man. So I'm hoping y'all will hit that subscribe button, you know, and get notified of when we live and when a new video is gonna drop. But yeah, but this is what it's all about right here. Again, we got a bunch of shorts that y'all should be checking out. So at your leisure, come check out the channel. It's a pretty decent channel. It's growing levelly. You know, but we here, peoples. Let's see. Still nobody in the presence yet. So you don't know. Not gonna wait around for y'all too long, man. I'm about to go spend some time with the fam. Maybe I'll do something later. But for now, I'm gonna sign off and say y'all be good, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all next time. You heard? Bless up. Hit that subscribe button. Y'all be good. Bless up.
The way things happen, rapping my way from swabbing the deck to captain, saluting HIM. It's too high for y'all to get over him. Why die? Why wisdom? Standing on the corner, trying to drop that knowledge on ya. Yeah, you lack understanding. Guess you need that. Jesus is black understanding. Understanding, you're kicking sand in my third eye, demanding I see through your bird's eye. Where I'm standing, the words I slang from a cannon, and all my thoughts go banging. Yeah, or am I over your head? This much closer, get you closer to dead. People, powers that be invested in us. Start investing in those powers. We gotta get over before we wonder. We gotta get over. We gotta get over before we go under. We gotta get over. Gotta get over your pain. We gotta get over before we go under. We gotta get over. We gotta get over your pain. We gotta get over. Before we go under, we gotta get over. I feel your pain and your pain is thunder. We gotta get over.